Now, if you're planning to take the IELTS speaking section soon and you're worried about your vocabulary, you feel you don't have enough vocabulary to express your views on a lot of issues, come closer, get your pen and paper. This video is precisely made for you. Now, we're going to play around synonyms that are, yes, useful for a range of questions. Often questions you have on the first part, second part, as well as the third part. Now, in the first case, I find that students would always use the word nice to describe their apartment, for example. How about you drop the word nice and try pleasant? Describe the kind of apartment you live in. Oh, I live in a very pleasant apartment. Of course, this is not all you should say for that kind of response. You want to describe it a little more, but we're going to be very straight to the point with the particular kind of words I want you to learn to use moving forward. So, I live in a pleasant apartment. I live in a comfortable apartment. I live in an adorable apartment. I live in a beautiful apartment. I live in a convenient apartment. These are different word choices. So rather than saying, I live in a nice, or I live in a cool apartment, I don't necessarily demonstrate volatility in word choice. These are two common words, right? You want to try these other words. Pleasant, beautiful, charming, adorable, comfortable, convenient. Now let's talk about the language of opinion, the words you would often like to use when you want to give your opinion regarding certain questions, especially questions asked on the second and third parts. Say you're asked a question like, oh, do you think it is important for nations to cooperate on sporting events? How would you respond to that? Oh, I think it is important. No. You want to try saying, I believe it is important for nations to come together. Notice I didn't use the word cooperate anymore. Come together, cooperate. I think it is crucial that nations put their hands together to organize sporting events. Oh, I think it is essential, right? I believe it is essential. I would say, I insist that, I would rather say, in my opinion, oh, for me, in my perspective, not necessarily saying I think. It's not like it's a bad word choice, but then when overused, it could bring down your score on that vocabulary choice. Lexical resources. Taste. Let's say you're describing your favorite meal, for example. How would you describe your favorite meal? Of course, you're bound to use words like delicious. But how about you try sumptuous, tasty? Yummy is an English word that is often accepted, but especially when you're describing snacks. Sumptuous, delicious, tasty, mouth-watering. Oh, the look of the dish alone, when made well, is salivating. Right? Yes. And when you're talking about your favorites, your favorite for sports, your favorite hobby, your favorite kind of meal, do you find that you're always using the word favorite? How about you try my choicest? Or I prefer, or I would rather go for, right? The meal I enjoy the most is, I would rather choose. So these are different word choices you can use to express choices that describe aspirations, what you're looking forward to. Let's say you ask a question like this, for example. What kind of apartment do you aspire to live in? I look forward to, I intend to, I desire to, I plan to. These are different word choices with which you can express desire, language of intention for something that is futuristic. How large your apartment space is. I live in a large apartment. That is one way to say it. I live in a spacious apartment. I live in a wide apartment. How about describing a neighborhood? Right, words you can use to describe a neighborhood. Often my students will say things like, it is a serene neighborhood. That is a good word choice, however, I feel it is overused, right? So you want to try, or I stay in a quiet area. I stay in a comfortable area. I stay in a noiseless area. I stay in a neighborhood that is devoid of the usual bustle and hustle. So you see, these are word choices you could use to demonstrate your lexical resources. We often have questions around your most memorable experience. So what's describe a most memorable experience? You could use the word remarkable. A remarkable experience of mine would be a notable experience, an experience I would never forget, or an encounter that is unforgettable, an encounter I would consider pivotal. In the third part, you're required to compare, and at this point you don't want to say compared to every time. You want to say, oh, so and so happens now, which is quite different from, which is unlike, which is as opposed to, it is contrary to, however, but then, conversely. These are word choices you could use to make comparisons, especially when talking about the old and the new, the younger generation and the older generation. So I hope this has been such a beautiful experience, as I of course enjoyed sharing this with you, and I hope that you took important notes. You could even replay, feel free to replay the video from the start so that you take notes of these word choices. And one thing, the most important of all, practice using them. Take a look at a range of questions on the IELTS speaking and try using a variety of words. Sometimes you want to listen to yourself talk. Of course, I haven't recorded yourself speak. Listen back and try and respond again with different word choices. If you do this over and over, let's say for 1-2 weeks stop before your exam, trust me, you will be more than prepared to go there and speak like an expert English user. So until I come your way next time with something as insightful as this, enjoy the rest of your day and thank you for watching to the end.